let's shoot the shit. Yeah, 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 yeah. Come on, let's shoot the shit. Let's pontificate, verbally masturbate. Come on, come on, come on, let's shoot the shit. Yeah, 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 yeah. It's time to shoot the shit. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, motherfucker, let's shoot the shit.
You bleep out.
We bleep it. We do bleep it. Hey, how are you? Welcome to another Fearless QA. With me today is a friend of mine, Justin Gold, who also is the mastermind behind Justin's Nut Butter. So excited to have you on.
Thanks, brother.
It's gonna be a crazy good show. I don't know if you're like me, but peanut butter has probably been an important part of most of our lives. It's been sort of a cornerstone of my nutrition growing up, and yet it's not all perfect. It can be done better. And so Justin has kind of been dedicating his time to doing that, and has got a crazy good product. Before we get into that, I want to do a shout out to Ashley Van Tol. Ashley is an amazing woman. She was a skier, went around the world skiing and teaching, and with her husband, who actually has instructed me in skiing, and that's how I met her first. And she got Lyme disease probably about a year and a half ago. I'm not quite sure, and it's obviously a debilitating condition. It makes life a lot harder. Yet somehow she has done so much with it and done more with her life since then than most people ever do. And one of the things that she's doing right now is she's created this organization called Lyme Nade. And if you go to the site right now, limenade.com, actually not right now because then you miss the show, but whatever, we don't care, we just want you to be educated. She's put together a lot of information. And this week is, or this month, May, is Lyme Disease Awareness Month. So go there and check out what's going on. She's got a ton of celebrities who participated in PSAs, and the PSAs are there. You can grab them, you can share them, and you can help make people aware of this. And it's a bigger and bigger problem. I don't know that much about it, but I was shocked to hear how many more cases there are each year, and what a health issue it is really for Americans, and people just don't even know it exists, and they don't know specifically even how to diagnose or maybe realize that they have the condition, and that's dangerous because the earlier you treat it, the better the outcome. So check that out, and shout out to Ashley. So Justin.
Wow.
Yeah, top that. It's like, oh shit, I make peanut butter.
I kind of want to read up on it. I'm a little nervous.
No, it's worth checking out. They're doing great things. So, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Some people maybe don't know that much about Justin's nut butter is the term.
Yeah.
Correct? Yeah.
Well, first of all, I'm really psyched to be here, so thank you.
You're welcome.
It started out as, I don't know, a kitchen experiment with just some being at home and being really bored and being a vegetarian and just making my own food and making nut butters with a food processor. And it just started out as really having fun, you know. And I eat a ton of peanut butter.
It doesn't sound that much fun to me. I mean, I've never experimented with making my own
really?
peanut butter. Well, not enough, really. I do think it's important, but I have.
See,
not.
everybody has something that
Right.
they make that nobody else makes.
Yeah.
That's kind of like their secret little thing.
Right.
And maybe they'll share it with their friends or their family. It's a smoothie. It's a cookie recipe. You've got something.
I don't think I do. I think I may actually be the person that has none of it.
Whatever.
I really
That is so
don't think I
boring.
do. It is boring. But I'll I occasionally paint or something. Try to share that.
What about Anna? Does she have something? A secret something.
Like a recipe?
Sure.
We don't spend enough time in the kitchen, honestly. And we're working on that. We want to be in the kitchen more.
Very
we've
cool.
neither of us have ever made a product that we could then take to. I've never had anything, a brownie or anything, where people were like, "Oh, dude, you have to bring over your, special brownies." Not those kind of special brownies.
Right.
The So you made this stuff, and then what happened? You started to share it with people?
So,
or?
yeah. So I'm living in Boulder,
Yeah.
Colorado, one of the coolest places in the world. I have like 4 or 5 roommates, and I'm making peanut butter for fun, and only because, 5-6 years ago, peanut butter was smooth, crunchy, salted, unsalted.
Right.
That was it.
Right.
And I was really frustrated because it didn't taste that good.
Right.
So I'm making my own for fun, adding raisins, coconut, chocolate, whatever, just for fun. And then being really dorky, I'd kind of like make labels, put it in the cupboard, like
Just to be funny.
yeah,
Yeah.
just for fun. And my roommates would totally, spoon it all out and be stealing it.
Right.
And so then it was kind of like, I don't want to see you have an epiphany, but it's almost like, man, this would be so much fun to like bring a product to market, sell it to say Whole Foods.
Well, you know when people are stealing it that you've got something that's like
Yeah.
a good idea, right?
I really did. And,
Yeah.
And so it starts at like, the farmer's market level. And
So
then,
what do you mean the farmers? Because I think a lot of people probably, we were talking about this earlier, a lot of people do have an idea of something, like a company, a product, something that they want to do. Everyone I know has that, but so few people act on it. How do you have the courage to say, okay, I'm going to act on it?
So they always say that necessity is the mother of all invention.
Yeah.
And so my experience is that you generally create something out of necessity because you desire that to be in the marketplace.
Right.
And kind of like you cross your fingers and hope that other people really are going to desire this too.
But you took it to, but I think one, I don't know if it's an epiphany, but you took it to the farmer's market. A lot of people would just try to package it up. They try to go straight to this and something more sophisticated and then maybe get frustrated. You grew it kind of on a grassroots level, seems like.
Well, no, I did because it's the only thing I could do.
Right.
I didn't have a ton of money behind it. I didn't know what I was doing. And so
Yeah.
all you really can do is go to the library and Google how to write a business plan, how to start a company.
Right.
Find people who've already done it.
Yeah.
And Boulder is so cool, as you probably know. Celestial Seasonings, Silk White Wave, Izzy Soda, Horizon Organic, all these great companies that
Right.
are national brands. Their founders live here.
And they'll talk to you?
Oh, most of them.
Yeah.
And it's kind of fun because they want to help the next generation. They want to see what they created perpetuate itself.
Right.
And so, unfortunately, they're bombarded with people who have questions. And so, you almost have to earn the right to meet with some of these guys. But you start out with smaller guys.
Yeah.
And you learn what it takes to make a food product so it's safe and consistent. And when I mean safe, you can't make something...
It's good because I was thinking like you're in your kitchen, you
Yeah.
got the food processor, and then you're taking it to the farmer's market. Is
It's-
that okay?
No. So
That's
you
not,
can't sell anything without it being a commercial kitchen that's, registered with the Department of Health by the county, and they inspect it. So basically you have to find a shared kitchen that caterers all use, a
Right.
commercial kitchen.
Right.
And you just call up a caterer and you're like, hey, do you have a kitchen that I could borrow? And they're like, sure. And they usually rent by the hour. And you take all your stuff there, or use their stuff, and you make your food product, whether it's a brownie or it's a cookie or it's nut butter. And then you can sell it then.
Oh, that's cool.
And so
I think a lot of people would be interested to know that. Like, there's probably a lot of people that have that have ideas for products, and now they know. Okay, call a commercial kitchen, rent it out,
Right.
and you can do this.
And it's really easy.
Yeah.
And it's fun, because you're learning a lot about food, and then, making it's the easy part.
Yeah.
Getting somebody to try something new, to break the habit of buying the same things, is really hard.
So how did that go? You take the product. You've got some cans or whatever.
So it started in jars.
Some jars. You take it and you put it out a table at the farmer's market, and people walk by. They're probably not expecting to see a peanut butter stand at the farmer's market.
It's really amazing because you'll see 15 different salsas. You'll see different cookie companies. You'll see even flavored ketchups or whatever.
Really?
But you'll never in pestos and marinades and salad dressings. But you're right. You never see a peanut butter there, or an almond butter, or a chocolate hazelnut butter. And so I was testing all these flavors, and people walk by and they're like, whatever. And you're like, this is the best peanut butter in the world. And like literally someone's going to be walking by. Oh, I'm out of camera.
That's all right.
now. So they're walking by. And then you say that, and they're just like, they stop. and they want to know, I want to know what the fucking best peanut butter in the world tastes like.
Right,
And they
right.
turn around, they try it, and all you have to do is engage the customer and be like,
Yeah.
you know, I made this.
Yeah.
It's, you know, this is a maple almond butter. I take fresh maple syrup, I blend it with almonds, and the flavor profile is tremendous. You're going to love it, and they try it, and they're hooked.
Yeah,
And you-
because the truth, it is the best peanut butter in the world. Right?
Fucking
The
world,
best
yeah.
fucking best fucking peanut butter in the best peanut butter in the fucking world, and and almond butter and
Yeah.
all the iterations, honey peanut butter, like that's cool.
And-
You know, for most of my life, I've been taking the honey and squeezing it into the peanut butter and then stirring it
Yeah,
up
yeah,
and
yeah.
trying to get it to the right consistency and slathering that on. Because,
Yeah, of course.
like Elvis, that's pretty much all I eat. For real, I eat so much peanut butter and with honey in it, bananas. I don't know if I think it's good for you.
Can you
right?
do the Elvis, like, kind of lingo?
Just get giant, like yeah.
Like,
Over time, just get bigger and bigger. I'm trying to do that. Yeah. No, I can't do any of that.
And so anyway, and then there's this jump where you want to grow from a farmer's market product. So then what happens at the farmer's market? You test.
Yeah.
You know.
And
with
are a
your
lot of
friends,
people
you
doing
test.
this? It sounds like there's sauces, there's other things. So this is a potential pathway, though.
For a lot of people.
Okay.
You know.
I didn't realize that.
And so then what happens is, you know, I have these great ideas. I have these silly ideas that everybody's going to love. A chocolate macadamia coconut nut butter. And they're going
Right.
to eat it on everything.
Right.
So I make it. I think it's going to be our best seller. And then people are like, oh, wow, chocolate coconut macadamia. Let me try it. And they're like, that's really good. Do you just have plain peanut butter? Because that's really what I want. Or just the honey peanut butter.
Right.
And so then you really learn what people want.
Right.
And then it depends. You either cater to what you want, or you cater to what you want and they want. And I really had this aspiration of growing this into a national brand. So I was really letting my customers kind of tell me where to go on some things.
Because peanut butter's good. It just can be better.
Well, I invented a way of making peanut butter so it tastes better.
Right.
It tastes different. And so
Can you tell people what that is, or is it
of course.
proprietary?
No, it's so much fun. So here's how you get started, right? So now at the farmer's market, and people love it. And you
Yeah.
got to make more.
Right.
And you got to make it faster. And so now I've got to find a commercial kitchen that has a peanut butter grinder. That costs a lot of money. So generally what you do is you're like, okay, who else makes peanut butter that can make my peanut butter for me? And you call them up,
Right.
you visit them, and you find a co-packer, contract manufacturer. And so I called up all these peanut butter companies, and I'm like, hey, I got these great ideas. Silly ideas, whatever.
Yeah.
Can you make my peanut butter for me? Like, oh yeah, sure, we make peanut butter for everyone. And so you're like, I want to do peanut butter with honey and almonds with maple syrup. And they're like, oh no, actually we can't do that. The type of grinders we use are these stone mills, and it's a stone plate with another stone plate, and it just spins. And the honey, when it enters in, will grind and gunk up these stones.
Right.
And then it'll render them useless. So we can't do that. And and I'm just frustrated. I'm like, you're fucking telling me that I can make this at home with a food processor,
Right.
and you have $500,000 worth of equipment, and you can't make this for me? Like, something's wrong. So I had to just think outside of the peanut butter paradigm and find a food processor that would work for my application. And I don't grind peanuts. I food process them. And that's how we make our nut butters.
Oh, wow.
And so by doing that, it comes out at a lower temperature.
And the consistency is kind of different
thicker,
too, right? Yeah.
thicker. So you have more of a whole flavor profile, kind of.
And the nuts they're not all pulverized to a cream.
Right.
You can tell that
has
it's made
texture,
of
man.
the
Yeah,
texture. Yeah. It's not crunchy and it's not smooth. It's
Yeah.
smoochy.
Smoochy, smunchy.
Smunchy.
So
Yeah.
anyway, to make a long story a little shorter, now I had to buy equipment. And now you kind of face the dilemma every entrepreneur faces. Do I want to dive into this? Or do I want to, because now it's going to take time and capital. And if you don't have the capital, you got to really dedicate time to writing a business plan.
Yeah.
And figuring out how much money am I going to need for this equipment? Where's the equipment going to go? How much is it going to cost to really see this through? And then you've got to go to your friends and go to your family and beg for your first $20,000.
Is that how you did it?
Yeah.
That's kind of ballsy. I think
it was
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
And it
But
was.
I don't know. A lot of us won't do that. A lot of us don't have the courage to. Where do you get where do you get the courage? It just came natural to you, I guess.
I'm not exactly sure. I think a lot of it's being bored and being frustrated with being bored.
So boredom key.
Huge,
Most of
man.
us have that, yeah, which is good.
You know, and I graduated college a few years earlier, and I had a degree in environmental policy and philosophy, and I wasn't using it. And
Yeah.
I'm working at REI, and I'm waiting tables, and I'm just like, there's so much more I could be doing. And starting a company really sounded sexy, it sounded exotic, it sounded
Yeah.
fun, and it sounded easy.
Really? See, it seems almost impossible to me.
Well,
But that's-
thankfully, like my
Yeah.
ignorance, really is kind of paying off.
So tweet in questions if you're trying to start something up and you're curious about how to do it. This is a guy that knows how to start up a company. What are you guys doing now in terms of sales?
We're a $5 million brand, so we're rolling that direction.
$5 million.
$5 million.
In sales.
In peanut butter,
That's a
almond
lot.
butter.
It seems
sales.
like a lot of peanut butter.
It's to me like my first sale was to, a Great Harvest bread in Boulder and in Whole Foods at the same time, and $20. My first sale, and it was like a case of peanut butter. And
So
and
you
now
can
we're-
sell $20 worth of peanut butter to Whole Foods?
at the
How
time.
does that-
Man, like.
See, to me, I feel like that's what's so interesting about the story is the steps,
And
some of them seem that for most of us we would think to even get the interest of a Whole Foods on any level, I would have to be have national distribution, have
Right.
have the ability to make 1 million tins of the stuff, but that's not. This hasn't been true.
Well, what's fascinating. Oh, and Lauren, where's Lauren? Tell me not to say that word. I say that word a lot.
You can't say fascinating.
Fascinating.
It's all right.
It's fascinating. What can I
It's
do?
true. What are you going to do? It is fascinating.
What's really interesting is, there aren't a lot of categories where you can invent a product and without a ton of money bring it to market.
Right.
And what's really great about the natural foods category is if you have a really great natural foods product, generally you can sell it to local stores. And with Whole Foods,
They don't just buy nationally.
they don't just buy nationally. They'll allow one store to bring it in, and then the whole region will approve it, which is like 30 stores. So the way I had to start was by going into one store and talking to the grocery buyer and saying, hey, can I spend like 5 minutes with you? Let's walk over the peanut butter section. And you make a friend, first
Right,
and foremost.
right.
Why aren't there more peanut butters? It's just smooth and crunchy. I don't get it. The buyer's like, I don't know, that's really silly. Someone should come up with more peanut butter. And you're like, I got one. Will you try this and tell me if you like it?
Yeah.
And that, the buyer there, hopefully if they like your product, they'll kind of champion it to bring it into that one store.
Right.
And the buyer doesn't want to look bad. He's like, look, I'm evaluating.
Wants it to work.
So if I'll bring this in, but you got to stock your own shelves. You've got to do demos and sample it. And if it doesn't do well, I got to put something else here that
Right.
is, because I'm performed on how many products we sell out of the store, and
Right,
we're
right.
measured on sales, and it's a business. They
Yeah.
want to make money.
Of course.
So you end up delivering the product, and then you stock it on the shelf, and you set up a little table, and you hand out samples, and people buy it right off the shelf. And you go from one store to 2 stores to 3 stores, and and I'm working full time. And when people ask me,
You mean at this point in the?
oh yeah, so
You're still working at REI.
working at REI full time.
Yeah.
And on nights I'm making peanut butter, with this grinding process I invented. And then on weekends and early in the mornings I'm delivering. And it's just it's full time, more than full time.
Yeah.
And you love it. It's just, I had some of my most
It
memorable
doesn't feel like work,
experiences.
I would imagine. You have work at REI, and then you get home, and you sort of get to
Yeah.
play with this business that you're starting.
Yeah, it's like playing.
Yeah.
It's creating.
Yeah.
Anything creative is really kind of playing.
Right.
I mean, you must love
So how many flavors do you have now?
We have about 8?
8 flavors of
8.
of nut butters.
In different packaging sizes and whatnot.
That's crazy. And somewhere along the way, I guess it just begins to grow. People start to support you more. There's a really funny video that I wanted to play that a fan of the product just took it upon herself to create this, and it's on YouTube. I saw it on YouTube, correct? And it's worth taking a look at. So we're gonna play that. I think it's It's better than any commercial I've ever seen. Anyway,
Is this Harper?
I believe this is the. Oh, Justin.
Justin, I love your nut butter, and sometimes wish I was none but her, the girl that could someday make her way your heart.
She's adorable.
If you
Oh, wait, mic'd
would
up.
share some of your heavenly honey, then I would sway like an almond tree, swooning over more than just your culinary art. Won't you knead and squeeze my heart? Oh, oh, don't you know that peanut butter is better enjoyed by two? Won't you knead and squeeze my heart? Oh, oh, 'cause Justin, I am USDA certified in love with you. Oh, Justin, we could live so happily, 'cause you'd know how to harvest love sustainably. Life would be so smooth like a jar of your chocolate hazelnut. A spoonful in my mouth, it's me bewitchingly, that I just cannot help thinking so dreamily, spending sweet and creamy days filled with wondering what could be if you would knead and squeeze my heart. Oh, oh, don't you know?
Very nice. Very nice.
So I'd love to plug Harper.
Yes, I think we should.
Okay.
She's good.
So Harper Phillips is amazing. She's a local musician.
Yeah.
She used to work at Whole Foods, and then she was a cashier there. And I was lucky enough to get a loan through Whole Foods,
Right.
where they actually loan money to small businesses. If you have a small natural,
So they forced her to make this video as part of that deal? Is that what happened?
No, but
Because I thought it was really charming that she did it on her own, but you're telling me they forced her to do it. I'm kidding.
I hope not. That would kill it for me. So anyway, so she knows about our brand and she really loves our products, and she just one day was really bored and didn't ask for anything. It was just like, I want you guys to have this.
Again, boredom, the key to making things
The
happen.
creativity.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. So now she's got something going where she's trying to get into a festival.
Right. I just got an email the other day that she's trying to get into the Lilith Fair, which is kind of like a Lollapalooza, I think for mostly...
Everyone knows what the Lilith Fair is.
Okay,
Yeah.
I
It's pretty big.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
We're all aware.
You have a very cultured feminine side.
People, I do, and people are just aware of the Lilith Fair. So she's
So anyway,
trying to get into that.
They're
Yeah.
coming to Denver, and they pick local artists, and she's applying. Actually, it's a contest on Facebook right now, and if you have to go and you vote,
Do you know where we should send people?
yeah. Lauren, do you know that address for Facebook?
We'll get that and we'll hold it
Okay,
up.
we'll put
But
it-
you got to go vote for her so that we can see her live at Lilith Fair in Denver. That would be fun.
That would be awesome.
I don't know if she'll do the nut butter song, but whatever.
If this gets her there,
Yeah, you might.
I think she'll do it.
Yeah, it might be the only jingle played at Lilith Fair. I would imagine it would be. It would be pretty cool.
Oh man.
So where can I find it now? Where can I find nut butter? If you're watching and you're in other parts of the country, or
Yeah. So we're only sold right now, domestically, but primarily natural niche gourmet. So that includes Whole Foods, nationally, Sprouts, Sunflower Markets.
So any Whole Foods, I can get this.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And then Safeway in the natural sections. We're going into Target here this month. We're in Starbucks. We're in REI.
Every Starbucks?
Every Starbucks that has little
That-
packaged meals. Like
Okay.
a big cooler case.
Yeah.
We're in a packaged meal called the Protein Plate.
Okay.
And so we're in all of those too.
That's pretty big.
And what really changed this whole company, and I can talk about this forever. Thank God this is an hour.
Yeah, it's good.
And so having a jar of peanut butter or nut butter was great.
Yeah.
But it wasn't innovative enough. In really pushing innovation and trying to change the way consumers use things.
Right.
And so this is what really kind of changed my company and this squeeze pack. And what's really fascinating about it is being a vegetarian and mountain biking and hiking, I was eating Power Shots and Goos.
Yeah.
And I really was craving protein.
Right.
Not sugary energy. And so I couldn't believe that nobody had a protein pack. And I'm working at REI, I'm watching these things fly out the store, and I'm thinking, man, why don't I put my peanut butter into something like this?
Right.
And nobody was doing it, and it seems silly.
It's interesting because I didn't think about it from that point of view. My wife loves these because, you know, for the kids, you can send them to school, they can open them up, they can make a sandwich, you know. And the portion size is good. There was a question tweeted in, how did you come up with the portion size?
That was really easy. So the portion is 2 tablespoons. And 2 tablespoons is exactly 1 serving on the back of a jar of peanut butter.
Oh, okay.
And 2 tablespoons, in my opinion, is exactly enough for 1 piece of bread to make a sandwich.
I think I need 2 of these. I like it pretty thick, but
big boy.
yeah.
And so
need a lot of protein.
And then
Now I've never used until recently. I've never used one on a ride.
Oh, yeah.
You know, it's good and it's definitely the craving, but you better have some water in your water bottle because it's like your mouth is.
Yeah. It's not something that you're gonna like pull out of your jersey and eat on the ride. It's like you're putting.
Or in a race, like if you're in the Tour de France, do you think you might see guys? Maybe.
I have seen people take it out and then like, you know, like kind of put on people's sunglasses as like a blind, like kind of like a screen.
That's nice. You should maybe at some point you sponsor a Tour de France team.
Yeah,
That'd be hot, right?
Yeah, was that a few mil?
It's very not something you do now. Maybe later. Maybe later.
We actually we are sponsoring a Justin's Titus mountain bike team.
Oh, awesome! So you're halfway there.
Halfway, man.
What did you patent your product? Is a tweeted question.
No, that's a great question, and I wish I could have patented this product.
Yeah.
And what I always say is, I didn't invent peanut butter. I didn't invent the squeeze pack. I was the first dumbass to like put the two together and sell it marketably.
Yeah.
And so, no, I can't. You know, all I can do is be the first to market and have the best quality products and really like position myself as, you know, a high quality product.
So there's
And
nothing
so
to stop like a Peter Pan from saying, "Hey, we want this."
So there's good news, bad news. to
Other
that.
than the machines,
Yeah,
I guess
no
the
one
machines.
no way to stop them. And if Peter Pan does decide to do that, all it's doing, in my opinion, is just training their customers to use a squeeze pack as a form of traveling with nut butter.
Right.
And then it just grows the category, and then Peter Pan consumers will see my product and go, "Well, that looks a lot better. It's organic. You
Right,
know, it's
right.
flavors. I might try that instead."
Yeah.
So it actually helps.
I
know?
agree. I mean, I think generally the first in still benefits.
Yeah. You can't
right?
live in fear of
No,
you just
of
gotta-
making a market for everybody. And
Yeah.
plus, how bad would it be if everyone's peanut butter got more natural and, you know, better?
be a win, man.
It'd be good. Yeah, be all right. What's your favorite flavor? Itsy Kitchen's asking.
Maple almond butter.
Maple almond.
And so it sounds like it wouldn't taste
I think that might be my wife's favorite
as
too.
good as it tastes. And so maple almond butter, the maple flavor, and we use real maple syrup from New Hampshire, and the almonds, the complement is just fantastic. And the maple, I don't add a ton of maple syrup, so it's really a maple finish.
Right.
You don't get it right away. It's not like it
You're
hits
like,
you
you're
across
like,
the
you're
face.
like
you
people
know?
are like about wine is how you are
Oh.
about. You're like, it's got a maple finish. Like no one's really thought about or talked about peanut butter that way. I think ever. you
It's
know?
well, it's fun. I mean, if you love food or you love what you do,
Yeah.
you know, it takes over your whole life.
Do you think you can get a lot of people to start to like be connoisseurs? I mean, as more and more flavors, you know, come out, I like to mix it up a little bit.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, I mean, I love this stuff, so I like to mix it. I don't stick with one thing.
My second favorite is our chocolate almond,
Yeah.
and what
That's crazy. That's crazy good, and it's kind of like Nutella, right?
Right. And so, you know, all of your listeners need to know that if you're eating Nutella right now, Nutella has more sugar than cake frosting.
More sugar than cake frosting.
No
I thought-
shit.
Really? So you should make a cake frosting sandwich, is what you're suggesting. If you want that,
Yeah.
if you're bothering with the Nutella, just make a cake frosting sandwich.
It's cheaper.
It would be cheaper, yeah, and it's more of the same. So
And so it's fascinating.
But how much? So how would this compare?
So I love Nutella, and I was horrified when I learned that.
Yeah.
And so I invented something that has 60% less sugar,
Yeah,
You know,
Because most people think they're doing something good when they're eating Nutella, I've noticed, too.
Well,
a little Nutella on a slice of apple.
yeah, well, it's
or-
marketed brilliantly
Yeah.
as a nutritious food for breakfast.
Yeah.
You know, and so I really wanted, you know, to really reverse that. The first ingredient on this is hazelnuts or almonds instead of sugar.
Yeah.
And then what's really fascinating, and you'll love this, is instead of using just chocolate flavor,
Yeah.
I wanted to really embody a chocolate product. So I took cocoa butter, I took sugar, and I took chocolate powder, which are the main ingredients to chocolate, and I actually make chocolate and then add it during the grinding process. So this has cocoa butter in it, which gives it a phenomenal chocolate mouthfeel, chocolate aroma, chocolate taste. I mean, it's pretty cool.
I could see you with like a glass of milk and different, you know, different jars and trying them. Is that what happens?
Yeah.
What do you use to cleanse the palate when you're, you know, a peanut butter designer? Is it milk or is it something else?
A tongue scraper.
Really? That's pretty good. Someone wants to see you make Justin's Nut Butter live, which
Man,
we should have done that.
You know,
should have
you
done
didn't
that.
answer my email,
Is it
and
too-
I had a blender all ready to go.
I'm busy. You know,
yeah,
you realize
so-
I am busy.
Right.
God, you know what we should do? We should do it again another time. Maybe just on Justin, you do 30 minutes and we'll link the two together of you.
We could turn this into a cooking channel. And
Well,
we
you
can-
could do your own cooking channel or your own peanut butter channel, but after we're done here, I think we'll just keep the camera set up. We'll go live again later and make some.
Sure.
You want to do that
I think
later
you should.
today?
I think that you should harness your creative energies and create your own flavor.
Okay, I'll be with you. And we'll come up with something unique and
Bake a cool nut, pick some stuff to put in it, and it'll be yours.
All right, yeah. Cinnamon walnut butter just got suggested. We could try cinnamon walnut butter.
Huh?
Sounds kind of good.
Sounds really good.
Sometimes cinnamon
Okay, so
in things I don't love.
well, cinnamon behaves two ways.
See, that's why.
There's
yeah.
spicy cinnamon and then there's sweet cinnamon.
Okay.
And you have to give it something to carry it.
I love this. We got to do this. Okay. Let's talk a little bit about the packaging because I know this is a
Near and dear.
passion,
Wow.
of yours. These packages are full of goodness, but the package itself not really full of goodness.
Right.
The package itself is not something that's going to biodegrade. It's something that's petroleum-based packaging. So, and you've been working on something else.
Right.
Yeah.
So to take one step back, it's kind of silly to put this organic product in a non-sustainable package. And my goal was, if I can innovate something and really stand out amongst other people and really create something that has never existed before, and I know it's not the ultimate best solution to what I want to do or be, it's kind of like paving the way for something. Mm-hmm. And I knew in my heart that if enough people started using the squeeze packs, that we'd have to find a sustainable option.
Yeah.
And so for years I've been looking for either a biodegradable film or recyclable film or reusable film, and actually I have it with me.
grab it. So
there is some biodegradable film out there. That is some of it. Now, this is a step in the right direction.
Yeah.
Now, is it perfect? No. Why? Because there's still a layer of PET there.
Oh, okay.
And what they do is it's two layers. It's it's like a plant-based cellulose layer bonded with a PET layer, and the PET layer has some additives that allows it to decompose faster.
Okay.
So it takes long chain and breaks down the short chain.
Right.
All this really fun stuff.
Yeah.
And so if you put it into a industrial composter,
It would qualify as compostable, though.
Right.
Like if you took your package and you put it in the compost bin, it would work.
Under heat and with organic matter, it would.
It's
Now,
a huge improvement.
It's
for
a step
sure.
in the right direction.
Yeah.
And if I can find a way to get everybody to step in that direction together, it's going to create demand for the next best thing.
Because the issue has got to be cost at this point.
Exactly.
There's how many billions of these created each year? Do you have any idea? I mean, if you take condiments and you take the
Right.
whole industry from condiments to the goos and the sport packs,
We do 500,000 of those things a month.
right?
You're
And you're a tiny
We're tiny,
company,
man.
yeah.
I mean, Heinz ketchup packs. Can you imagine all the McDonald's and Burger Kings across the country?
I mean, I'd like to imagine because I think what
I mean, I bet those mini squeeze packs would fill up this entire warehouse
that's
in a day? I don't know.
It's a crazy amount. It's billions, I would imagine. So the idea that this solution could take that whole industry and that all that packaging that can't break down and instantly turn it into something different, that's a big deal to me, I think.
Me
It's
too.
a big deal to you, obviously.
And so the challenge is costs. And if we can get a bunch of people or companies, people have to care. And then companies have to care. And for right now, it's price prohibitive for a lot of companies to make the switch because they're buying smaller amounts. And if we can get everybody to kind of purchase together in order to create enough volume to drive down the costs,
Right.
it's a win-win.
How many, who do you need to get together? Do you need to get Heinz, or do you need to just get the Goos and the, some of the people that are closer in?
Right. Well, there's a lot of smaller companies that probably would care.
Yeah.
And the smaller companies who are in the natural organic space or in the outdoor industry space would definitely care without calling any of them out because I don't want to put any pressure on anyone, but I'd like to. But if we were to slay a giant,
I don't think it puts pressure because I don't. My thing is always my feeling about all these things is everyone wants to do the right thing, no matter what company that they're at. They want to do the right thing, but there are business considerations. So I think that as people feel the pressure from consumers or as they feel the pressure from others in the industry, you're small, you're not the biggest player in this area, but for you to stand up and say, I want to fix it, who's with me? I think that's pretty legit.
Right.
And isn't pointing the fingers at a finger at anybody. It's just the suggestion that there's a better way, and we're pretty close, right? We're real. This isn't one of those where it feels like we're a million miles away. There's a lot of issues that are difficult to tackle, and this one is difficult, but we're holding something,
right,
that's been in here for 3 or 4 weeks, and it's still holding solid.
I'm taking on its first outdoor test this weekend, so we'll see if the whole challenge is,
shelf life.
Well, shelf life and biodegradability. It's just going to biodegrade
They're sort of
in your pocket when you're on
not good.
a hike. Yeah. Although peanut butter, with like lint and stuff is delicious.
It is.
It's crunchy. It adds a little texture to it.
We can make some of that later on the
that
show.
can be your flavor.
Yeah. Do you have any lint in your pockets? If you have enough, we can make my flavor. So there are cinnamon packets in the Boulder Whole Foods. I haven't seen them in weeks. Where are they?
Oh no.
You're out of stock of cinnamon.
So here's what happens.
Oh wait, this is good. Lurker22 says, "Wow, the guy with long hair is hot. Is he gay by chance?" I can't read the last line because there might be kids watching, and also Oprah watches the show, and so we try to keep it clean for Oprah.
I could say it.
I know.
That gets you off the hook.
You're welcome if you want to say it.
I think my fiance would probably get a little jealous.
So, next question. What about partnering with Sun Butter? What is Sun Butter?
So Sun Butter is a great company. They have a peanut-free product. And what's really blown my mind is the whole peanut allergy issue. Do you know anyone with severe peanut allergies?
Yeah.
Our friend David Mole, his daughter, Olivia, is deathly allergic to peanuts.
and it's much, much more common than it used to be.
And where did that come from?
Well, do you really want to get into that?
I have my opinions.
I have my opinions. I mean, a lot of people are of the opinion that it sort of began with genetically modified soy, and that's...
You met Robin O'Brien then?
Yeah. So that has triggered this cross reaction to other nuts and stuff, which makes a lot of sense. If you look at the timing, it's like it began in 92, by 97 it was, I forget the actual numbers. We'll do a show on that though. But yes.
Definitely. Robin O'Brien's brilliant.
She's awesome.
Yeah. And so Sun Butter does a peanut-free product that a lot of people who have sensitivities to peanut allergies can buy something they know, wasn't shared on a line with peanuts, wasn't made in the same factory as peanuts.
Right.
And it adds a layer of protection to those people. And Sun Butter just came out with a squeeze pack. So, sincerest form of flattery is imitation. And so it's kind of proving our model.
Yeah,
Which
yeah,
is
and actually building more consumer behavior around the idea of squeeze packs, but also, meaning more incentive for compostable. And so maybe they would be a good one to partner with on it too.
Excuse me, everyone.
Everyone, really, yeah. Is your fiance a guy? Is the new question from Lurker22.
Let's just keep this. Of course not. Well, no, she's not. But who cares?
She might be. That doesn't even make sense. So one thing I'd like to do is I'd like to bring in a dog and feed the dog peanut butter. So if we've got a dog, let's kind of get that in, because that's always good fun, and it's one of the cornerstones of peanut butter fun. And the other thing I wanted to talk about was just all the support that you've got locally from people, and the people who have come along and helped you on this journey, because there's got to be things that you don't know how to do.
Yeah, I mean, when I get asked, how do you start a company? How do you sell a food product?
There's a dog. Let's bring in this dog.
wow.
You keep talking while we bring in the dog. Come
Yeah,
on.
come on in.
Sit down with the dog.
Hi.
Introduce yourself.
This is Petey and I'm Lisa.
Hi, Petey.
Petey and Lisa.
Is Petey
So-
Jack Russell?
Does he have any peanut allergies?
Not that I'm aware of.
Question.
Right. Well, and we know that the chocolate, that's not good for dogs, so
bad.
we're not going to do that kind of
Yeah,
flavor.
no chocolate mix.
How old's Petey?
Petey is 2. He's from the Boulder Humane Society. He is a
Has he had peanut butter before?
rat terrier. I don't know. I've only had him for about 2 months.
Get out.
Yeah. He's a rat terrier corgi mix, they told me.
Oh, here. That's for you.
Oh, you can hear
So
me.
we can hear you.
Okay.
Okay. So,
me, the peanut
here, we'll
butter.
just give him a little bit just to see if he likes peanut butter first. He likes it.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. He likes it.
Is that gay to do that with your finger?
No.
Hi.
Okay, so
Oh, boy.
this is where it gets a little bit fun. I wish we could cut to slow motion, but I don't think we can. You want to do it? I guess I'll do it. Here you go.
So you gotta cram
Yeah,
it up there.
you got to get it there. There we go.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh.
That's just
3,
fun.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Look at the camera.
Keep going.
Get some in your...
So for those of you with dogs at home, this is the best way to kill a good half an hour of your time.
A good half an hour. Looking at the camera.
Okay, I like that. I just think
Anybody
that's
else?
really fun.
Another taker? Maybe Duke?
That's the kind of stuff that can't get on network TV. That's why Justin TV makes just good sense. Do you want to do the next one? No, I
Sure.
think we should probably stop.
Okay.
Hey, bud, how was that?
We'll go.
Here, do you want just lick a little bit
Just
of
clean
that?
the
Yeah,
finger
just
off.
clean the finger. Dogs love it. I don't know if that's a like a great endorsement, because dogs will eat almost anything. But
So I had a flavor of peanut butter
there you go.
that was called Doggy Style.
Someone
And-
suggested Squirt Pack would be a good name for the pack.
And so we had a flavor called Doggy
Thanks,
Style.
Lisa.
Okay.
Thanks, bud.
Petey says thank you.
Petey,
Petey.
thank you. Thanks for joining.
And what was really fun is whenever you're making new products, you always have leftover kind of messed up batches.
Yeah.
And you need to wipe that off your paper towel.
I'm just gonna put it on the back of my pants. Okay.
Oh, there it is. And so you always get like messed up batches, and we would trying a new flavor, trying something different. And so we would take all of our screwed up batches in these big buckets to the Boulder Humane Society. And whenever we walked in, we'd almost get a standing ovation from the staff there. And what they do is they take the peanut butter and they put it in those Kongs, those like brown, round rubber kind of looking balls.
Yeah.
And when they put peanut butter on the Kong, the dog now tries to like take the peanut butter out of the middle of the hole, and they're licking it for, 15, 20
Kinda like
minutes.
Petey.
And from what they told me, it's the only quiet time they have
Oh, that's funny.
for like the whole day is that 20 minutes with that dog going after that peanut butter.
That's funny. So they
So
try
we-
to.
and so I was just thinking, well, I mean, everybody uses peanut butter. They put pills in it for their dog. They use it as a training tool. So we came out with doggy-style peanut butter. And it's peanut butter specifically formulated for your dog.
Oh wow.
Which
But
mean-
and it's for sale or
It was for sale.
Okay.
Unfortunately, it just didn't take off the way that I.
Did it go into like other?
It was in local pet stores.
Okay.
It was in.
I think you're good with peanut butter for people. I think
Yeah.
it's a strong place to just like focus on.
Apparently, gourmet peanut butter for your dog just isn't something
It's not,
the
no.
market's ready for.
So someone says here, Morton tweets in, at TED Talks, they said that organic food is not good. I think they meant is not good. When you think that billions of people go hungry to bed every night and organic farming gives less food, what do you think?
Well, it depends how you look at it. You know, we're organic farming does provide less food because, you know, of pesticide mitigate or pests, like whether it's, I don't know.
Want me to take this one?
Yeah, I'm struggling a little. But
I have a thought actually, it is true that you can potentially get more food with industrialized sort of farming, right? Where you take the factory approach, nitrogen, the soil, you know, GMO seed, then spray the hell out of it and put chemicals on it. The problem is that from what we are beginning to see is there's a big health cost to eating that kind of food. And that health cost isn't separate from the food. It's all part of the same system, right? So if we all have to, you know, if we all become obese or we all have to go on you know, Lipitor and things like this because we're eating what's essentially not food, right, in its natural state, I think that isn't a very sustainable idea. So,
and also there's this kind of unaccounted for externality with, you know.
I think the other thing you can look at too within this idea is like, hey, we ship a lot of corn into other countries, and we trash their own farming economies because we dump corn into their system that their farmers can't compete with on price, right?
Fair enough.
So destroy their whole farm system.
Or how about we're using corn to feed cattle, to feed people, when you can use, it takes 5 times the corn to feed a cattle as it would to just feed people.
Send me the TED Talk that says that. I'd be curious to, if you could tweet that to me, which TED link that is. I'd be curious to see that. Ever thought of opening a nut butter restaurant? That's a good question, like a PB&J Co., but better.
Yeah, I haven't.
That's a good idea. It's stupid.
It kind of is, but
It's so stupid.
first of all, have you ever worked in a
I liked
restaurant?
it. No, I haven't.
Restaurants are hard.
It's a tough
It's
business.
hard work.
It's a tough business.
And I'd much rather be, selling a
what
lot
if the person wants to open a Justin's Nut Butter restaurant chain and take the idea across the country?
I would be very interested,
You'd be
in
interested.
meeting that person.
You would want to take that call,
yeah.
right?
Yeah, for sure.
What if someone is curious about how they can get involved? Are there ways for people to still get involved with what you guys are doing? I mean, I know that you did a round of investment recently, and that was something I got involved with. And
We're always looking for help.
Very exciting.
We're always looking for smart, talented people. And if somebody wants to be involved, they can just email us. They can call us. We are always looking for help.
What if someone's watching and they're working at a massive grocery chain? Should they call you? Like if the buyer for Kroger's is watching, would you like them to call?
Yes.
You would.
That would be awesome. Yeah. I mean, we're making presentations.
Are you in Publix yet?
No, we just presented to them.
Oh, you did.
Yeah. And so the way it happens with these large, grocery chains, they basically have a review. They have a calendar, and every September they look at one part of the store. And so if I just create a product and I go to present to them in October, they'll be like, "That's nice, but come back next September
Right.
when we're reviewing peanut butter."
Right. So
So-
there's a whole cycle there.
Yeah, and it's really intimidating. Like you'll walk into their office and all your competitors are sitting like waiting to see that same person.
Does the Peter Pan guy actually dress like the character? I mean, can you tell him? Can you be like, "Oh, there's the Peter Pan guy," because he's dressed like Peter Pan?
I've never met the Peter Pan guy.
Well, you said competitors. That's not one of
Yeah.
your competitors. The Peter Pan guy seems like
We mostly
Or is he just in a
compete
suit?
Yeah, they're mostly like
You're more with the organic.
middle-aged, guys in ties.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're suits.
Yeah.
You can call them out.
You can tell who's the Jif guy, who's the Peter Pan guy, and they don't have to wear a costume.
No, it's a fun industry. I mean, we roll like this,
Yeah, yeah. We should have Lauren on because Lauren is one of the smarter people you have, I hear.
Come on, Lauren.
Lauren, you want to come on the show? Say hi.
So one thing that I want to talk that I can't stress enough about is when you have a great idea and you don't know exactly how to bring it to market, you hire people who do.
Right.
Really smart people. You work with them. Maybe you don't hire them, maybe they mentor you. Maybe they are an advisor for you. And so I've been very lucky to live in Boulder and have a lot of smart people giving me great advice.
Do you have a board of advisors?
I do.
Grab that mic. Have a seat. That's a funny thing just for me coming to Boulder from another place. Everyone in Boulder, every company in Boulder has a board of directors and board of advisors, and not so much where in Miami, that just didn't happen.
Huh.
Like Crispin doesn't have a board of directors, right?
Well, when you start
or
small,
a board of advisors.
when you start small and you don't know what you're doing,
I love it. I think it's a very cool thing, and there's a very tight community. Like within Boulder, business people do help each other. Oddly
within
enough,
the natural food
hold it
industry.
pretty close.
Especially within the natural food industry too. I feel like we've been really fortunate. We've got some amazing mentors, right? Boulder is pretty much the epicenter, the mecca of natural foods. So
Yeah.
we've been lucky to have some really great mentors.
and so Lauren was one of the first people that I've hired recently, and she came as a recommendation from such a small, tight-knit group of people here. And when I say you have to have people who are smarter than you helping you, it's one of the smartest people I've ever worked with. And it's really inspiring to be with people who challenge you to actually bring your game up.
How many people do you have working it?
There's we have a manufacturing facility closer to Denver, and there's about 10 people working there. In our sales and marketing office in Boulder, there's 5 of us. And then we have between
4 and 6 interns that
Every
bang the
semester.
phones every day. I mean, we couldn't do it without them. They're awesome.
That's a nice size. You know everybody.
Right.
Yeah.
But if you're hold it pretty close. If you're sick, if you're not sick, but you want to call in sick, he kind of knows that you're not sick, right? Like, how does that work?
Yeah, that
The
doesn't
nice thing
work.
about a really big place is you're just like, oh yeah, I can't come in, and no one knows.
Yeah, there was one time, I grew up in Netherlands, so my boyfriend lives up there, and there was one time I actually got snowed in and the canyon was closed. I was so excited because I couldn't come down to work, but I worked from home the whole day.
And you were able to make it up to Eldora to ski, right?
Of
yeah,
course.
the road's going the other way.
No.
That's all right.
No, but
I'm sure you guys are pretty good about flex time. And,
No, it's not. I wasn't excited. I wasn't
no, it's terrible.
It's so fun. We're just so excited, and there's so much horsepower going right now. So it's a really exciting environment to work in.
And what's the trajectory for sales? Like, you're doing $5 million now.
our goal is to hit $5 million by the end of the year. We're tracking that way.
Yep.
And then just double every year. That's what we've been doing.
Right.
Just double every year. And what's really fun is
That's pretty aggressive.
super.
Yeah.
But we can do it. I mean, we're a small team. We have a lot on our plate. We love what we're doing. And it's fun because when you're our size, you get to do a little bit of everything. So Lauren does mostly marketing, but she's, helping us with sales, doing presentations.
Sales, ops, PR. I mean, everybody does everything.
How big is the entire market if you looked at just ground up nuts as a market? How big is it?
So the peanut butter, I don't know the nut category. The peanut butter category.
Ground up nuts, I mean, as
Ground nuts
buttered
is
nuts.
about $1 billion.
Oh wow,
And
lots of room to grow.
And the natural segment is maybe around 150 million.
Wow.
And so, there's
You guys should have all of that.
I thought it was interesting too because Nutella has they do around $40 million worth of in revenue every year. So if we could have just a tiny portion of that, if everyone wanted a healthier alternative, we'd be psyched.
Yeah, just everyone converts. But I mean, part of it's distribution, though, right? You got to be
Right.
in a place where somebody can actually can see it and get it, which, you're on your way. It seems like.
Well, what's fun, and Lauren put together a great survey on our website, and we really like to track who our customers are, why are they buying our products, really know who our customers are so we can serve them better.
Yeah.
How easy is that? And most of our customers, their favorite other brands, other than Justin's, are Jif and Skippy. And then the only reason why they don't buy Justin's more often is they can't find it.
What about the expense? Is that an issue too?
To some consumers, it is.
Yeah.
You know, and to some consumers, it's not their everyday nut butter. It's
Right.
like their coveted treat.
Right.
You know, and I'm okay.
Is
with
it well? And also, I think that we have to, if we're going to eat better, we have to decide we're going to invest more in our food personally. That's sort of a, you know, I think Whole Foods, right, and that reputation of Whole Paycheck, it is more expensive, and it's some people can't afford it, which is the real tragedy. I think that our food supply is sort of becoming a strata of, yeah, I can afford to eat well, and I do, or I can't. And it's not democratic. Like, we don't all have access to organic food, and that
Right.
and that's a problem. But if you can afford it, part of it is just priorities and deciding, hey, the stuff that goes into me, that's a big priority. I know my old big priority used to be how big the rims were on my car, or, you know, size of the TV. But my new priority is food. I think that's
You know,
a shift that we're going to see.
And Food Inc. points out a really good point, where it's not only is it the expense, but it's the time. If you have the time to actually make a meal from its raw essential ingredients, you can probably afford it. But it's having the time to go out there and
I don't
shop
know if that's
and
so.
put it together.
I don't know if that's so true. I mean, I don't know. I worry that's not really true. That you can't so much afford that a mom in the inner city can't really afford to get vegetables and spend the time. You know, even if she had the time to put together a meal, when broccoli costs as much as a fully prepared hamburger, like that's actually costs more, right? So that one raw ingredient, that's the troubling part of this. And what has to happen is someday, the manufacturers of large-scale food, of processed food, are going to have to call Washington and say, hey, the corn subsidies, they're killing us now because we can't deliver the food our consumers want. You need to stop it, rather than being built on the back of it. And that'll take a big switch. We have time for one last question, and it was from Fearlessaholic. And the question is for Justin. Be honest, how badly do you want to kick Peter Pan in the nuts?
Big time.
Big-
I mean,
All right.
like, what's our saying around the office? Our goal.
Global nut butter domination.
All right.
And we're
All
heading
right.
towards it.
You're on your way. Thanks for coming on.
Totally. That was
Appreciate
fun.
it. Yeah,
Thank
it is
you.
fun. Thanks. Yeah. Good luck to you. Budding marketing career. All right, we're gonna roll credits,
Was that an
and
hour?
we're gonna play the Nut Butter song on the way out. We'll see you next time.
Oh, Justin, I love your nut butter, and sometimes wish I was none but her, the girl that could someday make her way to your heart. If you would share some of your heavenly honey, then I would sway like an almond tree, swooning over more than just your color.